At this age, at this point of his career, can Lomachenko beat a Gervonta?
I think 5 or 6 years ago, I would pick Lomachenko right away. Right now, it might be too hard to. I think, you know, at his age and size also, because he's not that big of a lightweight. I think I'd have to favor Tank. His power, you know, is just unbelievable.
Boxing pros have revealed their pick for the Gervonta Davis versus Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Following his 8th-round knockout victory against Frank Martin, Tank is currently ranked #1 in Ring Magazine's lightweight division, after a masterful knockout victory over George Kambosos Jr. in May of last year. Vasyl Lomachenko is ranked #2. In a recent interview with Bob Arum expressed his interest in arranging a fight between Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis. He said, "We're up for that fight. Lomachenko's up for that. When we sit down, we will see if it's feasible, but Lomachenko would like to do that fight." Continuing, Arum revealed, "Carl Moretti has been talking to Luis de Cubas for a couple of weeks now. Hopefully, we'll put it together for sometime in November. Nobody is dragging anybody to the table. Both sides know it's a big fight, which means they're looking forward to earning a lot of money, and they're both competitive guys." Stephen A. Smith is uncertain about his desire to witness a matchup between Lomachenko and Davis. The former NBA analyst contemplated the potential opponents Tank could encounter next. In doing so, Smith highlighted Lomachenko's shortcomings, ultimately suggesting why he believed the Ukrainian would struggle against Davis. One of the anticipated matchups in boxing is Gervonta Davis versus Devin Haney. Stephen A. Smith believes Davis would likely dominate Haney, considering how Ryan Garcia knocked Haney down 3 times in their fight. Smith also regards Vasyl Lomachenko as a skilled boxer, but feels the 2-time Olympic gold medalist is too small to challenge Davis. He believes that Gervonta Davis is a master at penetrating his opponent's psyche. In addition, the Baltimore boxer is resilient and able to hold his own in the ring. Thus, Stephen A. Smith continued, "My attitude is nobody has a shot against Gervonta if you can't punch with power. So does Smith mean Lomachenko can't throw power? Not really." He said, "That is not to say that Lomachenko can't punch with power, because we saw what he did to Kambosos. Beat the out of him. But I'm saying to you, against Gervonta Davis, I don't know." According to the 56-year-old, a bout between the two would be highly interesting. However, if Lomachenko were to face Davis in the ring, Smith would be concerned about the Ukrainian possibly being knocked down. Soon after, the 56-year-old disclosed the boxer who could be the ideal opponent for Tank Davis. Moreover, Stephen A. Smith argues that Lomachenko is undersized and lacks sufficient power. So, who might possess the right attributes to face Gervonta Davis? According to Smith, that boxer is Shakur Stevenson. Standing at 5 feet 8 inches tall and with 10 knockouts in 21 fights, Stevenson is seen by Smith as the ideal candidate. Gervonta Davis is the #1 box office attraction. Who I want to see him against is Shakur Stevenson, he said. Smith added, "Shakur Stevenson, with all that noise made about him, deserves a shot. I want to see Gervonta Davis in the ring with somebody perceived as having enough power to put him on the canvas too. That's what I want to see. I don't think Lomachenko gives us that. I think Shakur Stevenson might." According to reports, the bout between Vasyl Lomachenko and Gervonta Davis has been announced, and tensions between the two combatants have already begun to rise.
Lomachenko, interested in that fight? November,
for sure.
Talked about?
Yeah, for sure. As long as we go back to the drawing board, and I wanted to fight all of them.
Meanwhile, Oscar De La Hoya has recently requested that Tank agree to a rematch at a fixed weight with Ryan Garcia. He said, "Ryan Garcia told me he can't do 140. He would want the fight at 143, 144. So if anyone wants to fight him, give me a call. At 144, we'll make the fight happen." Despite Ryan Garcia's history of testing positive for anti-doping, he has been seen in public recently. Over the weekend, Garcia made headlines when he entered the ring to congratulate Davis on defeating Frank Martin. He wore a t-shirt with a dual message expressing his desire for a rematch. Currently, the duration of Garcia's suspension is unclear. Nevertheless, his promoter Oscar De La Hoya has been discussing the possibility of a rematch. Oscar De La Hoya said that King Rai is willing to fight at his weight and encouraged Gervonta Davis to get in contact with his agent to persuade him to accept a rematch. He said, "But I have to sit down with Ryan. I have to sit down with his team and then come up with a plan, and then we go from there." De La Hoya also praised Garcia for his behavior and described him as an excellent marketing expert. He stressed the significance of acknowledging Garcia's contributions, particularly in his skillful use of social media to attract potential opponents and promote fights. According to De La Hoya, boxing could use more fighters like King Rai to enhance the sport. He said, "He's mentioning Pitbull, he's mentioning Tank, he's mentioning O'Malley, Errol Spence, he's mentioning everybody, but that's the beauty of Ryan." After his victory, how did Davis react to the ringside challenge? He passionately voiced his feelings amid the post-fight fervor, indicating the rivalry's continuation. Gervonta "Tank" Davis promptly addressed Ryan Garcia's bold ringside challenge following his knockout win against Frank Martin. With the confidence of a true champion, Davis shared details of their exchange with the media. Davis said with a smirk, "Oh, Ryan, he's crazy. He's completely crazy for a rematch." He made it clear that he was prepared for another fight by going over and beyond Garcia's recommendation to put on 142 pounds instead of 135 pounds. Davis asserted, "He said that he wants to fight me again. I'll kick his ass again," leaving no doubt about his readiness to defend his record. Davis demonstrated his impressive strength during the boxing bout with Martin. Although Martin initially dominated, Davis escalated his efforts as the fight advanced. In the 8th round, Davis delivered a precise uppercut that staggered Martin, setting up the decisive blow, a powerful left hook that sent Martin crashing to the canvas. Following his dramatic knockout win over Frank Martin, Gervonta Davis promptly agreed to Ryan Garcia's challenge for a rematch. With 129 remaining in round 8, the contest came to a close, securing Davis's hold on the WBA lightweight title. All 3 judges gave Martin the advantage in the first 3 rounds because of the slow start, but by the 7th round, Davis had taken the lead, 67-66. Davis said, "Yeah, there's a little rust, but it's okay. I'm back. A couple rounds I feel as though I ain't warm up completely how I wanted to. I did warm up, but I got cold as the fight was going on before me. But it's okay, no excuses." In his 30 professional fights, Davis had now achieved his 28th knockout victory. Reflecting on his performance, he added, "The brick just finished it off. It's about staying focused and making sure my mind is on the goal." Meanwhile, rumors are circulating that Tank will face Shakur Stevenson, and Tank himself has expressed his readiness for his upcoming fight, whoever the opponent may be. Davis remains undefeated in his professional career and displays unwavering confidence in his ability to triumph over any challenger. Nonetheless, a lot of boxing fans are looking forward to him facing off against a revived Ryan Garcia again. It appears that Davis has had enough of Stevenson's camp's chirping and his own criticism. Tank said, "A lot of shit built up and I'm going to take it out on him." Tank Davis, initially struggling, quickly picked up pace and began landing powerful punches on Martin. His 8th round uppercut, followed by a left cross, sent Martin crashing to the canvas. With this victory, Davis has defeated 28 out of 30 opponents, solidifying his dominance in the lightweight division. As the WBA lightweight champion, Davis is considering unifying the belts through potential bouts against Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, or Vasyl Lomachenko, who currently holds the IBF lightweight title. Davis has expressed interest in facing either of these opponents in the past. Tank remarked, "You know how it would go? Everybody in this room knows how it would go. I guess it would be good for the sport if we fight." Stevenson, known for his cautious and defensive fighting style, has achieved only 10 knockouts in 21 fights, which is considerably fewer than Davis's. This approach may not appeal to fans who wish to avoid another letdown like Stevenson's bout against Los Santos. Davis might take this into consideration when deciding whether to agree to fight him. Meanwhile, we know that Tank had been in jail for 44 days for breaking the conditions of his home arrest before being released in July of the previous year. The chain of events began when Davis caused a hit-and-run car accident in 2020. As a result, he was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest at the residence of his trainer, Calvin Ford. This followed his admission of guilt to 4 charges related to the accident, which resulted in injuries to 4 individuals, including 1 pregnant woman. Davis declined to serve out his time in Ford's residence. Rather, he relocated to a posh hotel and later a new home without the Maryland Attorney General's office's consent. He said there wasn't enough room at his trainer's house for him. Undoubtedly, one of the best boxers in the world today is Gervonta Davis, who is well known for his remarkable abilities inside the ring. Even at just 29, he is still committed to leaving a lasting impression on boxing history. But getting to the top of the lightweight division wasn't simple. Tank Davis had to do most of the navigating. In a recent interview with PBC, Davis discussed how those 44 days of jail contributed to his personal development. He said, "I felt like I wasn't supposed to be in there. It was a learning experience. It showed me that's not where I want to be. I got kids, I got to take care of, my family, friends, and everything I've got to take care of. I'm fighting for my future, my kids' future, my people's future that's coming behind me." Prison can have a profound impact on individuals, and it seems that 6 weeks greatly influenced Davis's perspective. In contrast, Tanks recently expressed doubts about the potential for significant change in the boxing world. Reports suggest that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is preparing to invest $5 billion in the boxing industry to establish a league akin to the UFC. The aim of this initiative is to unify major boxing promotions by acquiring minority shares in leading organizations. Discussions facilitated by Turki Al-Sheikh are currently underway, with organizers yet to issue an official statement. Gervonta Davis anticipates significant hurdles in the future. If Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman backs Turki Al-Sheikh's plan, it could transform boxing by requiring frequent bouts among elite fighters. Presently, boxing is regulated by multiple sanctioning bodies such as WBC, IBF, WBA, and WBO, each establishing its own champions, which frequently restrict restricts title holders from facing each other. Talking about it, Tank said, "I mean, that would never happen because everybody doesn't agree with each other. Everybody is not on the same page." Although the concept is not new, promoters' reluctance to split revenues and jeopardize the reputations of their champions has impeded its progress. Saudi Arabia's ambitious goal faces significant challenges because of long-standing divisions within the industry. Alalshik said in May, "We carefully planned our activities for the last 6 months. We are spending the money to commercialize our season and at the same time to test the market and know all the secrets about the market." Following Tank's recent bout against Frank Martin, negotiations are progressing as they have already commenced. Tank seems worn out and slim, likely due to numerous obligations. His recent challenges have led to considerable stress over the past year. If the Tank-Lomachenko fight comes to fruition, IBF lightweight champion Lomachenko will defend his title in an eagerly awaited showdown.
I would say it's good as a professional fighter. Yes, it's good. You know what I mean? It's good but not really, but it's definitely good for the sport and for my legacy, for sure.
Bob Arum makes a compelling case that a bout between Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko would generate greater excitement than Davis taking on Shakur Stevenson. He critiques Stevenson's lackluster performance against Edwin de los Santos in November, suggesting fans might not be enthusiastic about watching him fight. Arum argues that a Davis-Lomachenko showdown would attract more interest than a Davis-Stevenson match. He proposes that if Davis is ready and Lomachenko secures a significant victory over Kambosos, it could set the stage for a highly anticipated fight. He added that they had maintained communication with PBC throughout. If Tank Davis won against Frank on Saturday, they plan to resume discussions the next week. He emphasized that these talks wouldn't mark the start of negotiations and noted that Carl Moretti had been in touch with Louis de Cubas for several weeks already.
Which, I mean, he won very easily, but it was certainly not entertaining. But Shakur will get his opportunity. He's a terrific fighter. I don't know who can beat him, but again, all of these guys are really good, and so there'll be interesting fights down the line. But I think clearly right now, if Tank is available, Lomachenko having a good victory over Kambosos, that's the fight that everyone wants to see. Well, the truth is we've been talking to the PBC people all along. So we'll absolutely resume conversations next week after this fight, assuming Tank is successful on Saturday. But again, it won't be like the start of negotiations. We've been talking, or Carl Moretti has been talking with Louis de Cubas for a couple of weeks now about that fight.
Arum added that he hoped to complete it by the end of November. Given the aggressiveness of both sides, he acknowledged that neither side was being pushed to bargain and underlined that it was a significant fight with significant earnings potential. Despite the typical uncertainty involved, he expressed optimism in the negotiations, pointing out the professionalism of PBC and his own team and thinking they would come to an agreement. Moreover, after defeating George Kambosos last month, Gervonta Davis had issued a challenge to Vasyl Lomachenko. Lomachenko, a renowned Ukrainian lightweight boxer who had previously lost to Devin Haney a year ago, made a remarkable comeback. Despite his reputation for slow starts in fights, Lomachenko surprised observers with a strong beginning in his match against Kambosos, eventually clinching victory in the 11th round. The 36-year-old began aggressively, throwing quick combinations that snapped Kambosos' head back and kept pushing forward. Despite showing bravery in the fight, the popular Australian boxer was overpowered in the end. In the 11th round, a devastating body shot floored him, and Lomachenko quickly followed up with another knockdown to seal the win. Watching this, Tank Davis appeared to be gearing up to unify titles in the upcoming months. A boxing fan posted on social media during the fight that Gervonta Davis would never fight Vasyl Lomachenko, to which Davis replied publicly, "He's after Frank, let me get Frank first." He was obviously talking about Frank Martin. Shakur Stevenson, who had been eager to fight Tank but was prevented from doing so because they were sponsored by separate firms, was offended by Davis's statement, which thrilled boxing fans. As Lomachenko has also spent his career with the same promoter as him, Stevenson replied to Davis by saying, "He's on the other side, though." In response, Davis said that Loma is truly free to sign with any team today. In the end, though, Stevenson tweeted, "They are trying to freeze me out. Call them. Floyd Mayweather told me about all these However, it appears that Vasyl Lomachenko is ready for Gervonta Davis. Lomachenko said when informed of Davis's social media call-out, "You know, during my boxing career, I've never run around and I've always taken fights. After I rest a little bit, we can talk about the future." Lomachenko, a two-time Olympic gold medalist who started his professional career in 2013, boasts a notable record of 18 wins and 3 losses across 3 distinct weight divisions. Davis has achieved championships in super featherweight, lightweight, and super lightweight classes. Despite both beginning their professional journeys in 2013, Davis is notably 7 years younger than Lomachenko. Lomachenko showcased his prowess against Kambosos, rebounding after his 3rd career loss to Devin Haney in May 2023. At 36 years old, he reaffirmed his supremacy by winning a new championship title, despite a disputed loss in his previous fight. After this setback, the Ukrainian boxer paused his boxing career to balance defending his nation during the early stages of the Russian invasion. Against Kambosos, Lomachenko displayed his steadfast commitment to his craft and expressed his desire for a rematch with Haney, despite narrowly missing out in their bout. Now, excitement mounts for another potentially thrilling showdown against Gervonta Davis. The primary obstacle to this fight is the promotional divide. The Ukrainian boxer is under Top Rank's management, whereas Tank Davis is associated with PBC. Despite this, Davis has expressed a desire to face Lomachenko. What adds intrigue is Davis's earlier stance against fighting Lomachenko, which has evidently changed following Lomachenko's recent win. Top-notch boxing matches have been scarce lately, but a thrilling showdown seems poised to captivate the sport. Coach Calvin Ford, in an interview with Fight Hype, highlighted how Davis's early career differed significantly, noting substantial improvements since then. When discussing the potential bout, Ford likened it to Lomachenko's early trials, specifically recalling his 2nd professional fight against Orlando Salido. Ford said, after seeing that fight, "Tank said, 'No, I ain't messing with that.' And I said that when we first turned pro with Floyd, like I ain't messing with him." However, as Gervonta Davis started climbing the lightweight division's ladder, defeating everyone who stood before him, Ford claims, "They said, 'No, I don't want to do that.'" Vasyl Lomachenko is among the top 4 fighters in the lightweight class, according to the Baltimore coach. Despite Gervonta Davis expressing interest in a bout with him, the timing remains unclear. Now, the focus shifts to Lomachenko's perspective on a potential showdown with Davis. Prior to his fight with Kambosos Jr., the Ukrainian boxer had faced Devin Haney, a strong rival of Davis, in a closely contested match narrowly won by the Dream. Despite discussions of a rematch, nothing came to fruition. With Lomachenko's recent triumph, Davis may seek to outshine Haney by decisively defeating Lomachenko. However, as evidenced in the Kambosos Jr. bout, overcoming the Ukrainian boxer poses a major challenge. Nevertheless, Calvin Ford, a respected coach, asserts with confidence that Gervonta Davis is prepared to face Vasyl Lomachenko. Given Davis's impressive track record, Ford's assertion holds considerable weight. Following Tank's triumph over Ryan Garcia last year, he became a top target for contenders in his division, all vying to defeat him and achieve similar financial rewards. Out of all potential matchups in the sport, a lightweight unification bout featuring Gervonta Davis and Vasyl Lomachenko emerges as one of the most anticipated. Both fighters have secured impressive victories in recent weeks, indicating that plans for this highly awaited fight are progressing smoothly. Vasyl Lomachenko reclaimed his status as the lightweight champion by defeating George Kambosos Jr. last month, marking his return to the title scene after a hiatus of 3.5 years, winning the IBF championship in the process. With this victory, Loma moves closer to achieving his dream of securing an undisputed championship, despite facing exceptionally talented opponents, none more formidable than Gervonta Davis. Calls are now urging Tank to consolidate the titles at 135 pounds. The most desired opponent in this pursuit is the adept Ukrainian technician, a matchup speculated since 2018 when both were active in the super featherweight category. Co-trainer Kenny Ellis of Gervonta Davis addressed the rumors on Instagram and stated that he had begun studying Loma before he made a definitive prediction for the fight. Ellis said, "Because of the strong rumors in the air, phase number 1, I am studying up on Lomachenko. If and when this fight happens, please let him come with his angles, and hopefully he will let Timothy Bradley work his corner so he can pick up Loma's shoes when Tank knocks him out of his socks." Meanwhile, Tank has been encouraged to consider fighting Shakur instead of Lomachenko. Despite other potential matchups, promoter Bob Arum recently revealed negotiations for Lomachenko to face Tank next. Former world champion Paulie Malignaggi suggests Davis should fight Stevenson, who is currently at his physical prime, arguing that Davis versus Loma is happening too late. He told ProBox TV, "Now I want to see Davis and Stevenson. That's my issue. That's my problem with boxing. They make fights when it's convenient for them, when there's an advantage." Davis looked terrific against Frank Martin. "I was very impressed with the performance." However, Malignaggi noted that Shakur Stevenson presents a unique challenge unlike any other fighter. He highlighted Stevenson's tall, rangy southpaw stance, higher IQ, and versatile fighting style, emphasizing that facing Stevenson in the ring is 10 times more difficult. Melina G expressed his anticipation for a potential bout between Stevenson and Davis, clarifying that his remarks were driven by his desire to witness such a matchup. He added, "But Shakur Stevenson is a different proposition than anybody else. It's 10 times when Shakur is in there, because Shakur is the tall, rangy southpaw with a lot more IQ and a lot more versatility with his style. I'd love to see the fight with Davis. I'm saying this because I want to see the fight." Davis silenced many critics in April 2023 with a clear knockout win against Ryan Garcia, despite previous scrutiny over his choice of opponents. Currently on a 30-fight winning streak, he is recognized as one of boxing's premier pay-per-view draws. While a unification bout would be advantageous for Davis, Vasyl Lomachenko holds the IBF title and Shakur Stevenson holds the WBC title. Fans are optimistic that a Stevenson matchup could potentially unify all three championships if Davis triumphs over Lomachenko in their potential bout. Stevenson has confirmed his return to defend his title against Artem Harutyunyan on July 6th. Known as Killer Kerr, Stevenson currently holds the unified WBO and WBC world titles and is on a successful unbeaten streak since moving up from super featherweight. While a potential fight with Lomachenko is highly anticipated, Davis would eagerly embrace the opportunity to face his domestic rival next. Malinaji added, "I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. Do I edge Shakur? I've always edged Shakur. I think Davis is very qualified for that fight. He looks terrific. He's a thinker. It's not just the twitch and the power, it's also his understanding there. He knows how to set things up. I want to see two get it on, not later. I want to see them get it on now in their prime." Recently, Davis has publicly called out Lomachenko, setting the stage for what could be one of the most thrilling fights in recent memory. Gervonta Davis, known for his ferocious punching power and aggressive style, has rapidly ascended to the top of the boxing world. Davis has become a dominant force in the lightweight and super featherweight divisions. Davis's calling out of Lomachenko is no surprise to those who have followed his career. The Baltimore native has never shied away from challenging the best, and a fight with Lomachenko would be the ultimate test of his skills. What makes the prospect of Davis versus Lomachenko so intriguing is the clash of styles. Davis's explosive power and relentless aggression would be pitted against Lomachenko's sublime technical skills and defensive prowess. It's a classic matchup of brawler versus boxer, and fans can only speculate about how the fight would unfold. Davis would likely look to impose his will early, using his power to keep Lomachenko on the defensive. Lomachenko, on the other hand, would aim to frustrate Davis with his movement and counterpunching, looking to exploit any openings that Davis might leave. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.